Scott, thank you very much for the introduction once again, and I want to thank everybody who's here for joining us for our Q&A webinar. Brad's son is 21 years old, and he's participating in like a qualifying tournament in golf. So his daddy's caddying his son, so that's why you have just me flying solo today. But we got a very interesting Q&A for you. Before we get started, let's do the disclaimer. Trade Ideas is not a registered investment advisor, and nothing that we are talking about today should be construed as a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. Now that we got the disclaimer out of the way, Barry, good to see you back. I hope your vacation was good. Obviously, Barry's helping out in the room, but taking a well-deserved vacation. So Barry, I hope that was great. Now, you guys, do you see the title of this slide here? I hope the answer is yes. Am I showing the presentation? Surely you guys can see. Yeah, okay, great. Thanks, David. Okay, so this is maybe one of the most important slides you're ever going to see from Trade Ideas. I brought this up in the last Q&A webinar, and I'm going to bring it up again right now because we want to help you guys become wealthy. So Trade Ideas, as you guys know, if you look at our company history, we've been in business since 2003. And we have some incredible technology that has the potential to revolutionize not just fintech, but of course, other areas where research is needed, like any kind of exploration, medical, space, you know, the Space Force. Our technology is suited for that kind of stuff. So in 2020, what we're going to attempt to do, and again, right now, this is all in the planning stages, but we want to tell you because there's important information here. In 2020, we will attempt to ICO and co-IPO at the same time, or IPO and co-ICO. So there will be a internet coin offering, and there will be an IPO, and they will be able to be sort of traded together. We're going to try to do the IPO completely without investment bankers. In other words, that's why it's important for you to be here right now. What we're going to do this is a word of mouth. As you understand, 2020, that's approximately a year and a half out. So for that year and a half, we're going to be collecting your names. And the best part about what's happening today is that, and I said this before, is that there's a time clock component to it. So what that means is this. The sooner you put your name on the I would like to participate in the IPO / ICO area, your clock starts ticking. That means your interest will help you to participate in the IPO and ICO. We don't know exactly how yet, but we will. And again, that stuff, that's for others. If you are a subscriber, you will benefit more because, of course, we want people who have supported us to obviously benefit more from an IPO and ICO because, in essence, you're funding the research and development that has helped us to make this technology better over the years. We're grateful. Debbie, I'll get to all of that. We're grateful for it, and we're going to try to take it to another level. I really believe we have a chance to have one of the more interesting, exciting IPOs in the history of the market because, unlike other companies, we are going to try to do it all organically. Why do we need investment bankers to help us raise money when we can do it directly with our subscribers, with our clients, and do a no middleman IPO? So that's the idea. Very soon, Scott and I had already discussed the fact that we're going to be setting up a page that's going to be your registration for the IPO. Your desire to be included in the IPO/ICO. Now, let me explain about how the clock is going to start ticking. A lot of you here are already our subscribers. That's very good, because the longer that you have been or are a subscriber up until the IPO, that is the biggest factor in how much IPO/ICO tokens you are allocated. In other words, when we look at our customer list, and we have, and I've talked about this before, an example, we have one customer, one of my favorites, who's been with us since 2004, has never asked for help. Great guy, lives in Canada. Again, no doxing, but just giving you an example. Well, he's going to get a lot of shares and tokens, and we're going to surprise him without him needing to do anything. Why? Well, because he's been with us the most. He's supported us the most. He doesn't have to do anything. We're going to go there to him. So Debbie, again, I'm not sure about all the details of like the actual final process of like what kind of auction, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to leave that to the more to the experts of that specific field. What I'm doing here is I'm giving you the general flavor. We want it to be a for the people IPO, not for the investment banker IPO. And we're going to use that money that we raise, and it could be in the billions, by the way, to take the technology out of just fintech. So that's the idea, and we're very excited about that. And you guys care enough to be at these Q&As, so you now know. You know that if you're already a customer, guess what? You don't have to do anything. That's the best part. By being our customer, you are already on that list. Now, of course, we're going to communicate, and Scott's going to put this in email information, and we're going to continue to update everyone as the whole thing develops further. But certainly, you know, you can imagine from us understanding how things work, it's not going to have a gigantic float. It's going to be a very exciting kind of a stock to have. And we think the sky's the limit. But we want you guys, our subscribers, our clients, our friends, to participate. So that's really my starting salvo. Hopefully that's something you guys are interested in. Again, remember, we've been doing this since 2003, and we all want to take it to the next level. The better Bloomberg. Buckle your seatbelts is what I will say, because again, there's going to be some bumps on the road. There's going to be some bumps in the road, and the bumps could start very, very soon. One of the reasons, and I'm going to talk about this when I demonstrate the software, because there's a perfect example of this situation, and I'm going to talk about, again, the advantage of using our approach, et cetera, et cetera. But this right here, for people who aren't, whether you're a customer of ours or subscriber, you want to check this out, because Sean McLaughlin wrote a lot of interesting things from just the standpoint of remembering that it's not always daylight. You know, if you only know how to run around in the sun, when it gets dark, you get confused and scared. And what we're trying to make sure is our subscribers, people that use our technology, are the most prepared for whatever it is that the market has to offer. Whoops, sorry about that. Accidentally. I always do that, by the way. I always click on his link. And if you do that, this is the trade-ideas.com/ebook. Before I jump to the technology, I'd just like to say, Barry, welcome back, my friend. I hope you had a fantastic respite and rest, and you refreshed yourself. Lots of exciting things are happening. You'll be caught up soon. You know, whenever somebody leaves on vacation, exciting things happen on the software development side. But we're very glad that you're back, and looking forward to seeing you in our trading room. Barry, who is again helping here in the chat, runs the trading room that is open usually every single day, where a group of avid Trade Ideas users interact with one another to create a higher vibrational kind of speculative environment where it's not about, you know, selling you guys something. It's really about just trying to extract the alpha and watching how other compatriots do the same kind of alpha extraction. So that's really what it's about. If you notice at the top of the slide, trade-ideas.com/trading room, everything is self-explanatory. Barry runs a tight ship, and over the years that he's been doing it, there's nothing but positive from everyone. Remember, it is free, and it does not require a Trade Ideas subscription of any kind. You can simply create a username, password, and of course, see what Barry's doing and interact with other people in the trading room. So now I'm going to jump to the software. Lots of cool stuff to talk about. So most of you are, of course, familiar with what I'm showing you. I'm on a channel. It's the Regional Banks channel. This is going to become very useful soon. Keep an eye on it. I don't want to really discuss why, but just keep an eye on regional banks. They have a chance of running. Okay, next. I want to talk about CADC. Okay, so this stock was a, let me see if I can, oops, sorry about that. Okay, so this stock is a very volatile stock. Its portfolio for volatility is perfect for individual investors who are looking for unusually sized moves. This is, you can call this big wave riding, because even though the stocks are small, the percentage movements are extraordinary. But I want to have you zoom in on something. So our software is watching everything, all different stocks, and it's noticing what this one's doing, and I'm trying to get you guys to visualize the humanization of it. So it's been studying, something happens, and boom, you hit this at 558. This thing goes from 558 to 1031, so you have almost over 100%. And I know that at one point I took a picture of it when it was up 85, okay? But notice what happened the next day. It gave you a short sell, okay, at 865. Look at where you are now. The reason we talk about this is because this has to do with the ebook on the buying the effing dip, etc., etc. Unlike ourselves, the AI is a mathematical thinker, whereas we are an emotional thinker, because emotions are the things that we have that are tied to our dopamine and adrenaline release. You have to understand your own chemistry and how humans work. The reason this works is, of course, when you hear a noise and it could be a saber-toothed tiger, you better get the hell out of there, and guess what? You better start running first. And if it wasn't one, you're still better off being scared and running, because, you know, that other time it's going to be one. We have to deal with that part of our mind in the stock market, and it's challenging. It's challenging because here's what your mind wants to say. Now, your mind can, of course, look at this and, you know, say to itself, man, here's where we are. Boom, shakalaka, we're going to kick ass. Could remember that, but maybe forget what happened after and after and that. But then you get really excited again, and now you're saying to yourself, hey, we just crossed above. So these are these kind of mental words that you have, because ultimately everybody wants to get on the ride and fall into, you know, one of these, right? Where you're in it here at 82, and now it's at 391, and in your mind you're like, you know, I'll give it 100 points of wiggle room. Guys, I know because every person thinks like this. I want to make it entertaining for you. I want you to understand, because these are the fallacies. These are the things that trip us up, you and I. And these are the things that myself and my compatriots at Trade Ideas, we worked to integrate into this technology so that you don't keep making these mistakes. Okay, so back to the CADC. It's tricky for us to trust it sometimes, to realize that, oh, you got in and now you have to turn around. But sometimes that's exactly what you have to do. And the only way to be able to do that is mathematically. And I'm just pointing out how the AI did exactly both of these things. Keep an eye on this, because again, potentially you could see another move like we had seen over here. These stocks with this float, they're very susceptible to it. The other thing I want to talk about real quick is there's already coming adjustments to the channel bar. We're adding an equity curve underneath here so that you can see which way visually is the P&L forming. You know, what kind of a chart does the P&L look like? And over here, we're going to put the number of trades on the left-hand side. So the idea is that these AI channels are kind of becoming almost a dashboard in and of themselves. Price movement. One of my favorite things to do, and I did this while Barry was away, is to let my eyes be hypnotized by this channel. And this is called the active trading channel. What humans can do better than machines is quickly react to something in real time that the machine has not seen before. Like, again, you find out there's an assassination news, the machine wouldn't specifically know that, you could know that, and you could make like the logical leaps thereafter. And when I watch this channel, remember we talked about the fact that watching reps of stock signals, whether they are good or bad long term, is a way of achieving excellence. It's like going to the driving range and hitting balls or putting. Repetition. So here you see like, okay, well, there was a buy signal, it ended up not working out. And there's this continuation of, okay, here's something else. But notice that while I am talking to you, and I've said this many times before, beautiful XBIO. No, we had, you know, the trigger right here. Let me see. Yeah, where did I put that? Okay, so I had an alert set for XBIO at 3:29, and I know I did this at one of these webinars. So if you guys are following me, you know that this is what we did. This is one of the ways that we say you take advantage of the artificial intelligence and all this computing power by simply making notations, and it becomes a almost Socratic kind of dialogue that you're having with the software. Like you're asking it questions and it's telling you, like here you're like, would this be a good idea for a trade? And the software's like, boom, here you go, might be. You see, it's a form of communication, and you have to expand your thinking on that to really let the data come through. So this channel, the active trading channel, I love it for not only during market hours, but of course afterwards. But here, these two windows right here, man, so powerful and yet so simple at the same time. Let's talk about this real quick. Notice the name right here, biggest pullbacks on winners. If I were you guys, and since most of you, of course, are subscribers, go to the Active Trader channel and right-click, duplicate one of these, and keep that here. Then you set it and you pin it, and duplicate this one, and do the same thing right click and whoops, and pin it. And the reason you want to do that is because anytime you're doing something else, like if you want to go to another channel, right? Well, you're going to see like what's going on here, like what are these stocks doing? Because of course, we're going to be picking up everything. But at the same time, this allows you to see the line, the kind of the sine wave formation of all the major moves happening in the trough. So in other words, XBIO, we know that it was down in this case, right? But you can see its change over the last 30 minutes was up 5%. So it had that bleep pickup, okay? Right there, that's what you see. So down, but reversal. So these two windows, they are in essence reversal windows, but reversals on some of the best plays that you're seeing. So again, you've got stocks that are down, but either you can short them again or pick it up, or here are the big ones that are up, but they're just pulling back, you know, up and just pulling back right here, right here, right here. Very powerful windows. So that at the same time, well, and of course you realize that once you add them, like let's say you have them at the bottom here. Since these are top list windows, if you press idea surfing, they become integrated into your routine. We talked about how trade ideas is all about the routine. You are creating a systems-based approach to extract alpha by repeating the same thing over and over and over again every day. You see the data, you're watching, you're doing the eye drills without having to do anything. Remember, I'm not pressing any buttons. The software is showing me what I need to see on the social media channel, okay? I see it, I don't even have to think about it, I just see it. Now, if you want to dig deeper, like if you want to do something on your own, you can always change the way these are being presented to you by relative sorts. Like for example, I can say bearish social sentiment will show me stuff that bearish but is still doing okay on the 20-day. See what I mean? Bearish but still doing okay. Still okay. Then you look at the 20-day range. So you can start to form easy pictures. It doesn't require you to be a genius. And of course, if you want to see it the other way, right? And what's getting killed? Look at that. Yuck. Terrible. Yucky. Lots of bleeding. So before I switch to the next topic, does everybody understand what I'm talking about? The duplicating, pinning, and allowing you to keep an eye on these windows while you are surfing around, which is a very good thing to suggest. Great, great. So I'm going to keep these here. Remember, the alerts don't surf, but the top lists do surf. Now, let's pop into our AIs. Okay, so we have 3 now. Holly and her sisters, as Scott pointed out. The AIs are evolving and tons and tons of opportunities. We're going to start with the original. Okay, I'm going to close this window and just show you what was going on here. Not a super active day for the original Holly, and only longs. And if you can see today, I don't have to go into a lot of detail to explain to everyone why a day like today is difficult. Because when you start going up and then you end up on lows, that's called a complete change of your mind. You know, you're like, hey guys, let's go swimming, and you've got your ski clothes on. You know? Yeah, that's not a confident booster, or it is if you are a bear, or if you're bearish, or if you think that the market is going down. So Debbie, on the active trader channel, it's not set for the latest beta. You can adjust any of the windows. It's kind of our own custom feel for what we think is active. And from that point of view, we try to keep it more open than specific to some kind of a beta situation so that we catch everything, hopefully. But remember, every window that we have, and this is of course not for just simply Debbie, but everybody, we made it so that everything is modifiable by you. The idea is that you have a perfectly working weapon ready to fire. You can send it out, it'll drone out, it'll do its thing. But if you want to go Rambo and recon, you can do it all on your own too. Either way, it's strictly up to you. Okay. So let's look at the percent risk on. So today, you know, it would have been a negative way. No way, even though there was a beautiful 6% trade here, but my gosh, very, very challenging. And this is the thing. The software is not afraid to try to pick up these kinds of bounces. But again, you're not going to be worried about if you're making it or losing it on any one day. And we've talked about that. The key is you want to try to follow it to the best of your abilities. And what we show you is what happens when that is done by the best trader that there is, because Holly has rules. She uses the rules and she doesn't change her mind. For anybody who needs more specific information on the AI, most of that information, of course, is available on our website. Holly 2.0 did not have much luck today, simply from the point of view of this kind of environment does not lend itself to successful, aggressive speculation, and somehow that is what was set on. We've had amazingly positive stuff, but it just did not work out today. And if you look at risk on was 5 down and risk off was 3.4. And of course, again, in this situation, it's a risk off environment. You want to be as strict as possible. So this is what it would have looked like. Very tame from that point of view. But you're not going to have a winning day every day. Never, ever would we ever say something like that. And again, it's all about safety and why you're continuously provided feedback information, visual, on the chart, on your portfolio, everywhere, so that you can make faster, more informed decisions than the competitors sitting next door. The winner on Holly's side was Neo, and Neo was very aggressive. Also, no, I'm sorry, that was 2.0. Neo had 10 trades, and this one had a very interesting trade in AVAV. And this one I discussed with our developers because it was one of those trades that I need to show you guys what happened in terms of why it's important and to not be afraid to get back in. So I'm putting this on the 1 minute, and come over here. Where'd it go? 1 sec. Let me put it back. Okay, right here. And I'm going to switch. We'll get right to the entry signal. Did we just miss it? Is it because? No. Hold on, guys. It's a coming. Where did it go? 6:55. Where is it? Yeah, switch back. Okay, I'll use the 2-minute graph to make my point. I don't know why 2-minute works, but okay. So guys, here you entered. Let me zoom in again. Sorry about that. I'm trying to do my best to give you the example. So here you have the entry right here on this candle. And what happened was, let me see if I can sneak into the right time frame. It's worth it, I swear. Now that I know what time it was 6:55. Here we go. Here it is. Okay, so right here, this is where the signal started on this candle. And in the next candle, you were stopped out. So this is 1 minute. Next candle is another minute. Following candle, it went down. So you're now exited. Now you're out of the stock for 1 minute. You're out of the stock for another minute. You're out of the stock for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. On the 7th minute, this is the part about risk on versus risk off. You should, in theory, re-enter. Now, when I say this in theory, what I mean by that is if you have the capital to do so. When we automate the AI will give you the ability to do what I'm talking about right now, which is, again, why this is a very important discussion. These things happen. Remember, you're watching a 1 minute chart. Does this make sense what I'm saying, guys? Just really quick, because again, I know this is sort of diving deep, but I want to make sure you understand that it goes that deep. You want to be able to get in right here. If the mistake is made on the next bar, you're out, right? Because you're following the rules. See, your stop is hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, you're back in. Never went below after that. And I'm going to switch the time frame so you can kind of get the picture. And look at what happened. This is why it's so critical to be able to get back in. So Fernando, the way we have it right now is, notice the AI is always trying to tell you and display to you the mode that you should be in per channel. So for example, and I'm just going to fly here, you'll see, so in this channel, you're risk off. So if you were watching Holly 2.0, you would be working this angle right here, risk off. And you can see that as the P, now what happens is the P&L can go back and forth, and that's the whole point of the entry and re-entry. Now remember, right click, trade, you have the ability to do this. So when this gets out, you can be like, okay, I'm out, and you can set it for yourself to automatically exit using the rules that the AI would use. We're going to help you automate all of that. I'm just kind of speaking out loud. But the point being is, while right now, the idea is that the AI can do either, we're going to automate for you to be able to try either and go back and forth. And the idea is kind of a mulligan factor. How many mulligans do you get? In other words, let's say the AI gets in, stopped out, that's 1. You can say, I'll give it 3. If it comes back and the entry is hit, you get stopped out again, that's 2. That happens, you know, that's again, that is proper speculation. You're not afraid to do that if you know that your risk parameters are set. And that's how we're going to change this market. So Fernando, in risk off, of course not. But in risk on, they're back in the trade. They never get out. So risk on is a mode where it stays into the trade, and risk off is the mode where it's following the risk off exit reasons. So the idea is that see which mode it's in and be mimicking those modes. And also notice everything is color coded. So you want to be going into blue and black, avoiding the red. There's tons of this kind of, not hidden, but designed neuro-linguistic feedback in the software. And when you're working with our education team on any of our webinars that take place during the week, and we have a very active education schedule, you will hear this information. So avoid the red, and here's what it kind of, you know, looks like. Black is good, blue is good, avoid the red. So whenever you're in something, so listen to what I said, black is blue, black good, blue good, avoid red. So you go to a new AI, sort the P&L, risk on, okay, I'm avoiding all of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. These would be the ones I'd be working with, and this one, because it's the most doing the best, would be the one where I would focus. So that's what you do. And we are working to automate all of that, and you will have that in automation. There's no finish line for us. So many things are happening in R&D that we believe can completely and will completely transform finance. Very excited about the future of this little fantastic tech company, which now will make me go back to where we were before. Where was I here? Okay. And what I want to, dang it. So what I want to do is, I want to reiterate what I talked to you guys about in terms of our IPO. Scott will have the page up. If you are a customer, nothing for you to do. Remember, but if you're not a customer, or if you have friends who are interested in this kind of stuff, let them know what we're doing. Fernando, I've not thought about that. You know, 2020 is going to be an amazing year. The IPO and our pricing are not related. So that's really more for research and development and going into other parts of the world where our technology can be applied, like medical research and defense and all sorts of other fantastic technological things. Tell me, guys, do you have any other questions about anything that I said? This is a Q&A. You get the CEO action here. And, you know, I'm talking about big wealth, life-changing things like the IPO. Barry probably hadn't heard about that. Barry, don't worry, you'll get yours. All in Canadian dollars. And Mike's like, all right, Dan, get out of here. I'm tired of you. Okay. This is our business, ladies and gentlemen. You are our clients. We are grateful for what you do. This is how much our software costs. It's a very small amount, and the reason it is because we have many clients. You know, not a gigantic amount, but we also didn't start trying to do this in any kind of way where we were doing it for free. We always wanted it to be a service where people who needed it understood its value, and you get what you pay for it, if you know what I mean. This is how much it costs per day for the world's only consumer-facing fintech artificial intelligence technology in the entire world. Very excited about our future, and I'm grateful for the time that you guys have given us. We have a podcast that we do on Fridays where we discuss all sorts of interesting information, a lot of it having to do with the innovation and the product cycle, lots of things happening there. And we're very easy to get a hold of. Trade Ideas 1 is my Twitter handle, @Trade Ideas is the corporate account, and we have a Facebook. Please like us there, facebook.com/Trade Ideas Pro. info@tradeIdeas.com is our number. All right, Deb, let me see if I can answer your question. Hold on, I read really slow. Debbie, a lot of those things are happening. Definitely the pin stuff, we know that causes problems. Yeah, lots of things happening there because we're also creating a container that will allow you to kind of not have to have pin windows, in essence. Going to make it easy for you guys to watch multiple channels at the same time. Lots of cool things like that. So totally on the right track, and we appreciate that kind of feedback. We know that that's not the best. Yeah, no, your words are, Debbie, your words are important to us, and the fact that you've been with us, again, that only puts you higher up on the IPO list. Love it. Thank you. We appreciate every one of us. And again, we especially appreciate your nice attendance at our events and the good feedback. This is what helps us make better software. Ladies and gentlemen, is there anything else? Scott, I think we're pretty good and, kind of make it short but sweet, or shorter, sweeter.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think you hit everything. Any questions, just email us, info@tradeIdeas.com, and we'll have a recording up tonight or tomorrow morning.
Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate your time. Take care. Enjoy the summer.
Bye, guys.